What's up, you wonderful, beautiful nerds? Welcome to another anime discussion presented by the Anime Association. I am one of your humble hosts, Shin the Hero, and I am joined by Anime Addict,
Yo, yo.
Kyle Tim times
You,
10,
yeah.
and Forbes.
Yes, sir.
We are be talking about To Be Hero episode 5, which I am a little upset about this episode. But before we get into this episode, please, for me, hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. The more and more we get traction for this video, the more and more we get more conversations with like these comments. We have one comment from last week's episode by Dale Chillin. This guy, he likes to write books and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably not gonna read this entire thing because it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. He has some points though. There's still some points I disagree with. Um, but the first one of his first points is like belief is not always intentional. I can wish for Blankster to beat God Eye all I want, but if deep down I knew if he was a fraud and his fists weren't actually iron, then my faith in his ability will dwindle. That's his faith, his ability, his belief and everything like that. Not everybody's like that, but like but his other thing, sometimes we can't control our real thoughts or trust. That's not how that works. As for Nice and his believers, they were more ride or die, that they believed in him until he told them the truth. But Blankster's fan base was more shallow. His second points was like, because we don't know we don't know any of the source material of this. We didn't watch the first 2 seasons of To Be Hero and everything like that. I know it's an anthology, but like they're still in the same world for the most part. And his thing, I think y'all are us here at the Anime Association, or at least me, I'm the biggest advocate for this. The trust system, like I know the trust system is a value thing, like it's very a representation of that. His thing is like it's not the equipment is not making someone's the hero. It's and then literally anybody can become a hero, even a commoner. Yes, we get that. I get that 110%, which we'll get into this in the video about it. But at the same time, like they already showed that in episode 1, like when Ling Ling inherited Nice's trust value, basically. And that's when it started to get really focused on and everything. Like we never knew Ling Ling's trust value or anything like that.
Yeah.
But with that being said and everything like that, how do y'all with the few things that I just read, do y'all still even with what we know about this episode now, do y'all still agree with what Dill Chillin is saying in the comments and everything? Because I know Dill Chillin is gonna say something about this in this video and everything like that. Which please, we love the discussion and everything like that. But how are y'all feeling about this? Addict, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, I don't think that I necessarily agree with them. The whole trust value thing is a little like a little tricky to understand. I think that we're kind of trying to figure it out ourselves because they're not exactly showing us like how it how people gain the powers through it. It's just people believing in them. But like with in this episode, the character Yang Cheng, he had 0. So how does he go from 0 to 1? I do have a theory that in order to inherit the powers, if you don't have anything, like him and Ling Ling didn't have anything either, you have to have an interaction with the hero. They both had an interaction with the hero. That was how they gained the power from the hero.
You know what? Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You might be cooking with that one. Whoever let him in the
does-
kitchen, leave him there.
That
I let
yeah.
myself
That
in.
really, bro. That really sounds like some hold on, Joker type stuff too, bro.
That does fit.
Like if the Joker dies, whoever
That.
that killed him or around him, whatever the case might be, basically turns to the next Joker.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it might be
crazy.
like a passing of the torch sort of thing. The
Yeah.
way that Nice like went like this to Ling Ling, that was kind of like him passing his powers on to him, and then he just fell.
Yeah, see, I
God
got I
damn,
got
my
to
boy
thinking
done
that
dissect the whole thing down. Okay,
like
I hear you.
the one thing I was thinking was because he had the suit on and he was already kind of imitating E's soul, and then he kind of imitated his powers by like shortening the wires and stuff. That's what I was thinking. Like he was already like imitating him, so he already had like the visualization of his powers. But I think what you're saying makes way more sense
Yeah.
because there's a commonality between Nice and then this guy that
Mm-hmm.
they both had to interact at least one interaction with them beforehand.
We
I
even could get
now
into the episode proper. With I forget what the blue. He looked like a Power Ranger. I'm not even gonna lie.
He do.
Soul.
Eso.
So yeah.
He looked like a. No, he looks like Radiant Black. That's what he looks like. I don't know if y'all know about that comic book series and everything like. That's what he looks like. He looks like a Radiant Black person. But like Eso. So it's clear that they were trying to find the next Eso, basically. And he wears a mask. Like we get the beginning of our guy, his Batman. His parents died in the alley and everything like that.
Yeah.
And my guy saved them and everything. He asked who his what's his name and everything. Fast forward, he's a teenager and all that jazz, and I guess he's in college, I'm assuming. And we get his story and everything like that. What really angers me about it is this goddamn cliffhanger y'all leave us on, and then we just get a whole new hero. I'm like, what the f- is this? What are y'all thoughts about the general episode in general? I'll start with Tim. How are you feeling about the episode in general?
I was kind of iffy at the start of the episode. I was because the first 4 episodes was just was cooking, but it's the beginning since it's the beginning of a new like arc, I guess you can say. I was like, I'm not too sure, maybe, but then it started really building up and everything. And it's funny you were talking about the end of episode. I actually went back and watched the end of episode 4 and like tried to get as clear as a visual of the E-Soul that's at the end of it. Like, which one is it? Is this the one that we just seen?
Yeah,
or is this or is it the one that we seen talking, or is it like one of the other ones? I couldn't really get a good shit look on the helmet, but it didn't look like it was the one that
like
we
the same
met.
one though.
Yeah. So, but other than that, I thought the episode was really good. I liked the way it was building up. The crescendo of the episode was really good.
Addict, how you feeling?
Yeah, I think the buildup was good. I do agree with the whole like, oh, you leave us on a cliffhanger and then we jump into this thing. That does kind of annoy me. But at the same time, we have to think that there are 10 heroes total and we have to get to all of them. So I can kind of understand, they already took their times with 4 episodes on Nice. So it's kind of time to, jump to a next hero.
Okay. And forward.
Man, I kind of wish they would have did one more episode with Nice. just one more, because like you said, that cliffhanger, man. And then it's like we're starting back from the bottom again from somebody else that's back slow. Like we got our adrenaline rush and then got smacked right back down. Like so, but all together though, like his backstory, and the way it was written, we still don't know power scaling or whatever, how they get their powers and stuff. That's the only thing I'll take from it. But as far as like story wise, yeah, I actually enjoyed it.
Okay, well, harking back on the power system and everything. So like we get what's the new dude's name? I'm not
Yang Cheng.
Yang Cheng. He looks like Ling.
He do.
But with black hair. I thought it was him.
I looked away for a second. I was like, Ling is back? Okay. I guess
he looks like him. I thought this was like another past thing, but we get him years later after his parents died. And he's with, I'm assuming the dude name is Rock, right? Yeah. I'm assuming he's some kind of family member friend. Cause like at first I'm also assuming that he was Iso at one point. That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming he was that Iso that saved him and he retired. That's what I'm assuming, or he got replaced. That's what I think. That's just what I think. But we get that he's trying to ask a girl out, basically, who clearly likes him. We can see
all the markers are there.
Clearly likes him. But my man, look, I get it. I feel where he's coming from. It is hard. But they could have just pushed. I don't understand
bro.
why
He
they
still
did.
fumbled though.
I don't understand. We find out that he works at an amusement park, or he had a gig at an amusement park, and he is basically his favorite hero, Iso. He's cosplaying. He's in this show, which they do a lot over there. It's like a representation of Super Sentai. That's why I say Iso looks like a Power Ranger and everything like that. That's what they really do over there. It's like it's called like Superhero Time or something like that. But like they do like stage shows and everything like that. And the kids are loving it, except for this one kid, and just calls them out. And I was like, this little brat, if I'm a punch in the nose, little kid. But I mean, the kid had points and everything like that. And then we basically see our run-of-the-mill kid befriends adult, and then adult becomes more of an adult, basically. And we see other things up to, like, for instance, there was this, we see the bad guy, the villains of this specific episode. We see the conflict with there, and then we randomly get the kid gets kidnapped. I don't know what's about that. I'm assuming their family is way more important than because there was this, I guess, quote unquote, his rival character who wasn't really a rival character or love rival character. I'm assuming you are led to believe that he is the rich guy. He's the important person and all that jazz. But it seems like the kid and the sister who Buddy has the crush on, they are the important people and all that in this stuff. But like this boiled down to, we see the origin of Iso. We don't know if it's the Iso, like Tim said from our previous episode. We don't even know if he's the current Iso, or we don't know when in time this actually goes on. But we see the birth of a Iso, pretty much. We also kind of see how the trust value thing works, which I have my qualms about it, which we'll get into it later. How are we feeling about the plot and characters, Forbes? How are you feeling about the plot and characters of this specific episode 5 of this episode?
Who was the one guy that kept popping up?
Who I think that is, I forget his name, but I think he was. You remember when Ling Ling was just Ling Ling and was fighting God Eye and all that junk, and when he finally got his power, you remember that like montage of people, that was saying like, yeah, I like this guy and everything. Like, I think he's one of them. He was in that montage.
And that's why I brought him up, because I was like, yo, like I've seen him somewhere before. I like how they threw him in there, like just random spots, like to keep him off of that route he was trying to go. Like as far as like trying to talk to the girl, like every time he try to talk to the girl, he's right there. Boom.
He was in previous episodes.
No, he was saying he was thinking like that could have been the guy though.
Oh, okay.
You remember during that time when Ling finally beats God Eye, and then we see the dude, Dr. Claw. That's what I'm calling him. But we see the dude in the chair. We see the dude in the chair.
Yeah.
Then we see that kid that's on that exercise ball. We see like 2 more people. I think he's in that montage of people.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go back and
you gotta remember, this is the whole point of the I guess the whole point of the show anyway, is to gear up for that big ass tournament arc thing that's gonna happen, that they keep counting down to and everything like that. And I think he's like part of like either the scouting process or something like. I think that kid, because like I think every time when he shows up, it makes it seem like he is the love rival and he's interested in the girl. but I believe that he's not really interested in the girl. Every time he shows up, he's actually interested in Buddy,
Yeah.
in our main character of this episode. Where he's actually interested in him. He wants to talk to him, but my guy is so down on himself. Every time he sees that and sees the interaction between them, he just
walks away. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. Go ahead, Forbes. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you
Oh
off.
no, you good. You good.
On the side,
Good.
but nah, that does make sense that he might be a scout or something, especially with how the episode end. But I didn't mean to cut off your train of thought and stuff like that.
Nah. You good? Go ahead.
Nah, you can go. That.
But yeah. Like I totally agree. Like I think he's a scout basically, and he probably wants it to go a certain way to look for the next hero, because who knows how many, you know what I'm saying, Nices it was. Like, we don't know if the one we saw was the original Nice too. Like, if it's the way we're seeing it and thinking, like, if you come in contact with one of the heroes, you basically inherit their powers, basically. Like, who knows? Like, so this guy could probably be orchestrating something else to like make him go down this path to become Esau or something. Like, okay, let me get in, you know what I'm saying? Let me step in so he won't talk to this girl and she get him distracted type stuff. So, well, yeah. As far as that, the characters, yeah. That's probably like the only one that really stood out besides all the other Esau's for real, like honestly. But yeah.
At it.
I personally have a lot more questions after this episode. I'm kind of wondering if the person that made the phone call to the two brothers to kidnap the boy is the same person that gave the talk show host the God Eye power, and if he's kind of going around trying to recruit people and basically build like a team of villains to go against the heroes. I don't know. It's a bunch of questions I have right now.
Go ahead, man. Drop them. Well, you got any more questions? Drop them like it's hot, man.
Man. Well, another thing is the trust value thing. Like, you know, is my theory the reason, or is there another reason of how people gain their powers? There's just I think it's too many questions for one video, because it's just like a lot of, you know, they're showing but not explaining, and it's kind of confusing me a little bit and making me question what's happening in a lot of the, you know, a lot of the plot and stuff.
Yeah, there was it seems like there's very little continuity with how people gain their powers and like how it really works, because they were making fun of him for having 0 trust value, which indicates that most people at least have 1 trust value. But as soon as he gets his powers, he just completely overpowers the 2 thugs, right? The kidnappers. And it's like, okay, well, did they have 0 trust value as well? And that's what gave him. So, like, if he went up against somebody with 2 trust value, would he just get stomped out like that? Like, is that how that would work? Type of thing. But my biggest question is, which we might get an answer next episode, but what was the importance of the kid being kidnapped? We didn't get anything from that at all this episode. There was no hints at them being important. I mean, you could tell something was probably going to happen to the kid if you follow story beats and stuff like that. But like, there was nothing that led up to no certain foreshadowing and no afterthought to it, or like not even the 2 thugs talking to each other about like, oh, the kid is somebody special or anything like that. So I'm hoping we get somewhat of an answer to that, but I'm kind of also not holding my breath that I'll get an answer to that. If that, it just felt kind of out of place that they didn't answer that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they did throw me a swerve on that. I didn't think the kid was going to get kidnapped.
I thought the girl was.
Yeah, I thought the girl was good because it was leading in that direction where the girl was going to get kidnapped. And then he finally showed it, even though we see it at the end, where he finally shows like, I'm the guy, I'm the dude, I'm the Esau you've been talking to the entire time. And quote unquote, and that's what I thought was gonna do like that, like you're running the mill type thing. But like this, they doing it with the kid. It did kind of throw. I mean, it did seem like they both had red flags over their heads.
Yeah.
But like I do agree, like it did feel like it just came out of nowhere. The fact that the kid, whatever that family is, they're important. It's so important to the point where the dude on the phone has said, "Oh, you do this, y'all won't have to worry about nothing for the rest of your life, for the remaining for a while." So like they had to be like someone really big, not to mention that how much the kid actually knew. So like, I don't know if this was a family of a previous ESO, and that's the reason why he liked ESO as much as he did. Because like even when they went to the competition, we saw so many different ESO like cosplays and everything like that.
Not only that, but the kid said something like, "Y'all are talking about stories from 20 years ago."
20 years ago, yeah.
So it's like, what type of knowledge does he have about 20? Like yeah, if you're enamored with something like a superhero, you would know some timeline stuff. But specifically saying 20 years ago, I think you might be onto something with that one, Shin. That the family, there's some type of former ESO being tied in with either our current protagonist or the girl and the kid. There's some type of ESO going on with that one.
The same thing with with our main character dude with Rock. That's how I feel like too. Like he has to been the ESO at some point too. Like and we'll get into what we didn't like about the episode and everything. But like we get into this trust thing. So the way trust in my head works is if like I know y'all, I know all y'all, and I trust y'all and everything. In my heart of hearts, I know y'all boys are here, and we're gonna be talking about anime every week. Y'all all should have, and I believe in all of y'all. Y'all all should have one trust.
Yeah,
I am assuming Buddy had at the very least 2 trusts because of his parents. He lost that when his parents got unalived. But his buddy, who was taking care of him, seemed to be in his corner. Why
doesn't trust him at all?
Yeah, he definitely didn't trust him.
Why didn't that trust? Why did the trust go up?
I wonder if it's like an unwavering trust, which I get. Like even then, like if someone's raising you type of thing, but it feels like he got that trust from the kid in a moment of desperation. Like the kid had to trust him, or else he was going, like whatever was going to happen to him was going to happen to him, right? So I feel like it needs to be a little bit more of a trust of like, you're going to protect me, or I can count on you a little bit more. So maybe Rock didn't have that type of trust. Like if I need you, you're going to be there, but I trust you to tell me the truth type of thing, right? I still don't understand the whole trust value. I know it's like a social credit type of thing, but I still don't understand how it links to power, because if that was the case, then your average store clerk would be like a level 5, like just not.
See, and that's why I agree with you too, Shin. Like it has to do something with the suits or the bracelets or something. They're sneaking in there.
I'm in the camp that the bracelet thing. It has to be one of those. Because I don't think everybody, like our comment has said, because like it doesn't show, even though it shows up like a little number thing, and it normally goes away and everything like that. They specifically show sometimes in the episode, even in this episode, the trust value on certain people, on the person who's becoming a hero or like that. And if it's true that everybody has a trust value or has a trust value, has this little bracelet thing, everybody should have some kind of degree of power. Like this should be like a My Hero Academia. Like everybody has to work. Like
Yeah.
everybody should have some kind of degree of a power, no matter what your trust value is. Because we've already established 0 trust mean you just regular.
Yeah.
1
You're an
trust,
outcast. Zero trust. You're a complete
yeah.
outcast, right?
Bro, your
But the
dog
one
don't even
trust-
trust you.
One
Yeah,
trust,
right.
1 trust, you're at least static shock level. So like that's that's the thing that I am. That's the thing I'm
Yeah.
trying to get around. Addict,
But
what did you not like about this episode, and then with the trust thing too? How you feeling about that?
Yeah, I think that there's something like behind the scenes being orchestrated with so my prediction is basically the person that set up the whole kidnapping with the kid and gave the talk show host the power of the god eye. I think that I know earlier I was like they could be orchestrating like a team of villains, but I could kind of see it as they might be orchestrating these characters, Ling Ling and Yang Cheng,
Yeah.
and some other ones that we're going to see to become heroes. So maybe he wants a specific, lineup of heroes instead of the ones that they have known for like 20 years or however long it's been.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
That's
Makes
exactly
sense,
how I
'cause we
feel,
do
too.
have the gambling stuff in the intro. They are
Mhm.
gambling with X in the intro, so I think there is. I think that might be a solid prediction that it's not as it's still nefarious with their means of doing it, but it's more so they're ready to rotate heroes
Yeah.
at this point in time. They want all new heroes. So yeah, I think that's a pretty solid prediction right there.
Hold on, they
What
said
you didn't
20
like
years though.
about it?
Like, is that what the little boy said? Like, y'all still talking about stuff about damn.
Yeah,
So
he
this is
did
so,
say
so
like you're doing choreography like 10 years old and stuff like that too. He was saying stuff like
Because
that, but like
Isol's been a hero for 34 years.
for years, yeah. Because like we see
Yeah,
we see that thing is like 7 years after commission. I'm assuming
Yeah.
the commission was like that tournament, the superhero tournament thing. That's what I'm assuming it is.
So do they have like the superhero tournament? Like is it a certain amount of years when they do it? Like, well,
I
of
don't
course
know.
we don't know.
I don't
Like,
think any of that's even been announced
bruh,
yet.
but what if it's in the first 2 seasons and they just threw us the 3rd season though? Like,
I don't know. Like that's the big thing too. Like that's the thing that. But if I didn't get the knowledge that this is technically the 3rd season of the
Yeah.
show,
Mhm.
if I didn't get that knowledge, I still would be like, I feel like something's missing. I feel like I'm missing something. I feel like because like I could clearly tell that this was from something. Whether this isn't an adaptation of like a manga, light novel, or something like a webtoon or whatever. Like this, I'm missing bits of information. That's how I feel. Even with 5 episodes deep, I still feel like I'm missing bits of episodes or bits of information. And if whether or not, and I know this is an anthology, and an anthology is different every season. Normally, it's different every episode. And if I go back and watch the first 2 seasons, they still have hero in their name. So it still would have to be more or less within this world, whether or not we're dealing with the same characters, same timeline, and everything like that.
Still the same power system type of ordeal.
It's still in the same world.
And that's the thing. They've been focusing a lot on the power system this episode because they really wanted to hammer into us, not even just this episode, but episode 4 as well. Trust value, trust value, trust value. And I feel like you said, we're missing something. And maybe if we watch the first 2, we would know a little bit more. But I feel like they're really trying to hammer home. I feel like the story is more about trust value than anything else at this point in time. Like that seems to be what they're trying to point us to, is the trust value and the number gauge and all that. But there is no solid continuity with the power system so far. And that's besides, unless what Attic was saying is how they're doing it, where the commonality is they met previous heroes before, or it's the suit that they're wearing, because technically he was wearing an E-Soul suit because he ended up buying like a authentic replica suit or something like
Mhm.
that. So that's the only thing I can think of since Addict brought it up. But other than that, there is no continuity with the power system so far, and I feel like that's what the story beats are building us to, pointing us
Yeah.
to. But I agree, there's no. It's like it's either it's going over my head right now, or there's
No,
just
it's
something
not.
that's not in there.
It's not because it felt like it felt like we were back on episode 1 again. Like we went through these 4 episodes and it's like we're starting over again. Like it feel like we're starting a whole new save over again, bro. Like new
Plus,
game plus.
game
Like,
plus.
all right, yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
I noticed in this episode they didn't shoot over to like the 2D style during any of the fighting
it
like
didn't.
they have
Yeah,
before.
it did during the time where he was.
Oh, at the end though,
he was.
didn't it?
Yeah, he was getting beat, and then he kind of when it
Yeah.
did that
His
quick
flashback.
thing
When he grabbed
you-
over by his foot,
and
yeah.
I audibly heard the snap
Yeah,
at
yeah, I
that
did too.
point. I audibly heard it then, but like you saw the little mask and everything
Mhm.
like that. Like it that was the only time it did switch the animation. But like I audibly heard the snap too. So
Yeah.
like I am still in the camp that X is like
He's definitely
warping
orchestrating
reality or
something.
something. And
Yeah, I mean-
I'm assuming he's fighting somebody during that time because like I think that it his powers heavily affect the world. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if somehow what like the stuff I was saying earlier, like someone behind the scenes orchestrating it could be X,
It
and
could be.
every time he snaps, these things are coming into place.
Yeah, that could be too. But we have so many questions. We 5 episodes in deep. We ain't got. It's like they keep
Nothing
giving
gets
us- they like-
answered.
They
Nothing.
kind of give us a nugget of answers, and then like, let me give you this
They're like,
pile
yeah,
of more questions.
Exactly.
Yeah, like you thought you got it. Well, nah.
Oh nah, we starting
nah.
from we starting
But
from square one.
My thing is, I think the way that they're going to end each one of these stories is something major is going to happen with the hero, like they did bringing in Isol, how Isol killed Moon, or Isol, let me put quotes around Isol instead of killed Moon. She I think that's how they're going to keep on rolling it in from here on out.
Yeah.
Like the next hero is going to do something crazy at the end of the Isol arc, and then just keep on doing something like that.
How many episodes is it though?
25.
Season?
25. It is 25. So
Hmm.
that I do know. But let's go ahead and wrap this up with predicting in the next episode. What do we get in the next episode for?
Probably get some more development with old boy, but they probably could just do a whole shift and go to another character. Like, but I honestly feel like they're gonna do some more character development and continue on from how it ended. Basically, old boy being a scout, and he's gonna explain why he's there, and they're gonna probably give him the Ling Ling treatment, basically.
Okay. Tim?
I don't think we're going to switch to another person. I do think we're going to stick to him for at least 2 episodes more max. I don't know what to expect at this time, except I'm gonna have more questions. That's the only thing I expect to get is just more questions.
Mhm.
I can't even think of too much because we pretty much touched on everything that is a possibility for the upcoming episodes. So that's kind of where I'm at with it right now.
And add it.
Yeah, I kind of think that we're gonna get like an Isol versus an Isol, like maybe a good versus evil type of thing, and it could kind of come back full circle to Moon's death, and whichever I would assume the evil one, would be the one to kill Moon. So that I think it's gonna come around full circle.
Okay. I do feel everything that y'all are saying, but I also feel like even though this was such an abrupt turn with this episode, with this we get the cliffhanger and everything. I think the whole point of this episode was for us to basically feel for this ESO and get to know this ESO. So I think the next episode we're going to pick back up from the beach, on the beach and everything. That's what I think. We're going to pick back up, and this ESO is going to get revealed to be our ESO that we just saw. And then we probably are going to see the event, why, if the case that Moon is dead or not, why that happened, or why Ling actually saw this ESO shoot, because I am still in the, until they prove me wrong, I'm still in the camp that Ling did not, Ling didn't die. He probably saw another premonition and everything like that.
Yeah.
But down
because we can't even trust seeing dead bodies in this show. You know, usually it's hey, look, they ain't gone unless you see a body. We can't even trust that in this series. Yeah, it's
on some Star Wars shit, bro.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But down below in the comments, you tell us what you thought about this episode. Tell us about what you thought about our conversation. Deal chilling. I'm looking at the comments. I can't wait until to see your little booklet that you bought the
your
tell
novel.
me all the things wrong that I did and everything like that. But we will address all of that next week. We will catch y'all in another episode review, or not review, discussion. I have been Shin the Hero. That has been Anime Addict, Forbes, Kyle Tim, and we are the Anime Association. We out. Peace.